$3.12. That's how much the clerk says it costs. He reaches into his pocket, peels out a crisp $5 bill. Brand new. Edges still sharp. No hesitation. No fear. Just exchange. Money in. Paint out. That's how they trained us. Money as a tool. Money as math. Money is something you earn with effort and lose if you're careless. But the truth? You didn't stumble on this video. Something deep in you is done with that version of reality. Because somewhere in your bones, you already know. Money isn't math. Money is energy. It's not about how many hours you worked. It's not about how good your intentions are. It's not even about how badly you want it. It's about what you're broadcasting. Because right now, you're sending out a signal, a frequency, and money is just echoing it back. If you've been grinding, hustling, doing everything right, and still feel stuck, this is why. It's not because you're bad with money. It's not because you're not smart enough. And it's definitely not because you're unworthy. It's because you've been programmed. Programmed to survive, not to receive. And that old program? Still running in the background like a virus, draining you without mercy. Let this sink in. Money doesn't follow logic. It follows resonance. If your core vibration is, there's never enough, the universe will lovingly, painfully reflect that back to you. Over and over and over again. Right now, you're tuned into one of two frequencies. Lack or flow. One says, I have to fight for every dollar. The other whispers, abundance is my natural state. And here's the kicker. Whichever one you're tuned to, that's your reality. But you're not trapped. This isn't a life sentence. You can shift. You can reset your energetic blueprint. And once you do, wealth starts showing up like gravity, natural, consistent, automatic. Here's what they never told you. Money isn't earned. It's permitted. Until you clear the blocks, those unconscious beliefs that say, wealth isn't safe. Success will make people hate me. If I thrive, I'll lose everything. Until those wounds are healed, no budget, no strategy, no affirmation loop will stick. Because your energy is still pushing it all away. Let me introduce you to someone you might know. His name is Jason. Jason's a beast with his hands, wiring, fixing, solving other people's chaos. But when it comes to his own life, he's barely hanging on. Why? Because Jason isn't just tired. He's spiritually exhausted. Not from the job, but from the invisible contract he signed decades ago. Struggle is noble. Comfort is dangerous. I only deserve money if I bleed for it. Jason's not chasing money. He's at war with it. He undercharges, overgives, shrinks when it's time to shine. Calls it humility, but it's not. It's fear in a clever disguise. He was taught that asking for more is greedy, that raising his rates would make him selfish, that having money would somehow make him less human. So he stays small, keeps his prices safe, nods and smiles while drowning in unspoken resentment. And every time he starts to get ahead, boom, something breaks. Unexpected fee, delayed payment, another month of just scraping by. It looks random, but it's not. It's a loop, a deeply ingrained energetic pattern. Because somewhere in his nervous system is this command. If I thrive, I'll be alone. If I succeed, I'll be punished. If I charge more, no one will love me. So he keeps carrying everyone else's pain, hoping it will one day pay off. But here's the truth. Jason isn't broken. He's just been hypnotized, operating on hand-me-down beliefs from generations who never question them. And until that code is updated, nothing changes. Not the income, not the clients, not the peace. Because deep down his energy is screaming, don't let me win. I'm safer in the struggle. Sound familiar? If it does, it's because you've lived this. You've felt it. You've watched the opportunities fade. You've felt the tightness in your chest when someone talks about wealth. You've heard the voice that whispers, that kind of life isn't for people like us. But now, that spell is starting to crack. Because here's the real magic. Awareness breaks the curse. Choice rewrites the code. You weren't born afraid of money. You were trained to fear it. Trained by tired parents who panicked every time a bill came. Trained by schools that never taught wealth, only obedience. Trained by culture to equate struggle with virtue and money with shame. It started when you were small. Maybe you asked for a toy and heard, we can't afford that. Do you think I'm made of money? That's for rich people. Those weren't just words. They were commands, etched into your subconscious like code. And every time you heard them, your nervous system flinched. Your body learned one thing. Money equals fear. Wanting equals danger. Success equals loss. By the time you were 7, your entire wealth identity was already set. Not by truth, not by universal law, but by inherited wounds, scarcity spells, emotional hand-me-downs. No one taught you to receive. No one taught you how to allow. They taught you to earn, to obey, to sacrifice, to make yourself small so others would feel safe. But that ends now. You're not here to survive. You're here to rise. You're here to let go of the lie that struggle is your destiny. You're here to choose a different signal, a higher frequency. One that says, I am safe to receive. I am worthy of overflow. I don't have to earn love through suffering. This isn't fluff. This is physics. Energy attracts like energy. And your frequency? It's the password to the life you're calling in. So let this video be your wake-up. Not because you didn't know, but because you forgot. Now you remember. Now you feel it. Now you're ready. The story's not over. And the pattern? It's not permanent. But your choices. Choose flow. Choose freedom. Choose to rewrite the code. For you, for them, for everyone who comes after. Because the truth is simple. You don't chase money. You align with it. And when you do, it runs to you. They lied to you about money. Here's what they didn't teach you. Money isn't just paper. It's not just digits in an app. It's energy. And right now, it's either flowing to you or running scared in the opposite direction. Not because you're lazy. Not because you're unlucky. And definitely not because you don't deserve it. It's because of one thing. Your frequency. Money doesn't care how hard you work. It doesn't reward sleepless nights. It doesn't show up for the desperate. Money mirrors you. Your deepest beliefs. Your hidden programming. The emotional charge you carry around it. If money feels chaotic, if it vanishes the second you get it, if you're always one step away from not enough. Listen closely. This isn't a money problem. This is a software problem. You were wired wrong. By parents who whispered, we can't afford that. By schools that taught you to trade time for pennies. By a system that brilliantly convinced you struggle equals worth. And that wiring? It's still running your financial life like a virus. Let this land. Money doesn't respond to logic. It responds to vibration. You could work 18-hour days, have 3 degrees, want it more than air. But if your energy screams, I'll never have enough, the universe obeys. Right now, you're tuned to one of 2 channels. Lack or flow. And whichever one you're locked into, it's running the show. But here's the game changer. This isn't permanent. This isn't fate. This is just code. And code can be rewritten. Your frequency flip. 5 rituals. 1. The morning reclaim. Before you touch your phone, before you drown in noise, stand in silence. Say this out loud. My energy is mine. Every leak is sealed. I am safe to receive. I am ready for more. Then breathe like a man who knows wealth is coming. 2. The price revolution. Stop undervaluing yourself. Today you raise something, your rates, your standards, your no. What? Because time is sacred. And you? You're done trading gold for crumbs. 3. Wealth language. Ban these phrases. I'm broke. Money's tight. I'll never get ahead. Replace them with magnetic truths. Money flows to me effortlessly. Every dollar I spend returns tenfold. I am a man who attracts abundance. 4. The purge. Your space is a mirror of your mind. Clutter, leaking power, dust, stagnant energy. Today you clean like you're preparing for royalty. Burn sage. Open windows. Make room for wealth to enter. 5. The sleep imprint. Right before bed, and no scrolling. Close your eyes. Say, today was enough. I trust the process. I release the struggle. I receive in my rest. Then visualize your future self. Waking up unrushed. Checking accounts without fear. Living life on your terms. The truth they fear. This isn't about getting rich. It's about remembering who you were before the world convinced you wealth was selfish. Before they told you sacrifice equals virtue. Before they made you flinch at your own power. You were born for abundance. Not to chase it. Not to beg for it. But to allow it. The system needs you to believe money is scarce. Because broke people? They're easy to control. But you? You're waking up. So let me ask you, when's the last time you felt wealthy? Not in your bank account, in your bones. That feeling? That's your birthright. Now go take it back. The revolution starts in your mind. The money? That's just the side effect. Drop a comment right now. I am ready. Let's see who's serious about changing their frequency. Most people aren't broke. They're just blind to the wealth already flowing through their lives. They wake up every day thinking they don't have enough, because they're only looking for dollars. Bank accounts, credit limits, digits on a screen, literal cash. But that's not wealth. That's just the residue of wealth, the final drop at the end of the energetic stream. Real wealth? It shows up long before the money ever does. It looks like an accident that almost happened but didn't, a phone call that came right on time, a gut feeling that told you to wait and it saved you, a person leaving your life before they could drain you. And no, that broke your heart, but freed your future. That's all currency. Not paper, not coins, not digital numbers, but energy. And if you can't see it, you'll never hold it. Here's the hidden truth. If you only count money as abundance, you're already living in lack. Because source doesn't just pay in cash. It pays in alignment, protection, health, peace, timing, connection. And if you ignore those, if you call them coincidences or not good enough, then you're rejecting wealth energetically without even knowing it. This is the trap no one talks about. You pray for money, but when a miracle comes dressed as a delay, you get mad. You beg for abundance, but when life clears someone toxic from your path, you call it a setback. That's the poverty mindset in disguise. Inability to recognize invisible income. You must change your lens. You must start tracking the abundance that can't be seen, because that's the part that lasts. There's a spiritual law that governs all of this. What you acknowledge multiplies. What you dismiss disappears. So if you only say thank you when money arrives, you've missed 99% of the blessings already sent. The truth is, money is just one translation of energy. And when you start recognizing the other forms, favor, intuition, safety, insight, you send the field one powerful message. I'm ready to receive all forms of wealth, not just money but miracles. And when that switch flips, the cash starts to follow, not as a reward, but as a side effect. Because to the universe, a wire transfer and a moment of grace cost the same. So here's the real work. Shift your frequency first. Let your perception lead. Start tracking energetic income daily. What arrived that you didn't expect? What didn't happen that could have wrecked you? Where did ease show up in place of effort? These are not small wins. These are the first signs of wealth. And when you notice them, your nervous system begins to trust abundance again. Your field expands. Your channel opens. And cash? It finds you because now you're reachable. But here's the thing. Mindset alone won't hold it. You need something deeper. Something that grounds your energy and shifts your identity from I hope to I am. That's where ritual comes in. Physical, intentional acts that rewire your subconscious and signal to the universe that you're ready for overflow. Let's break down 3 powerful wealth rituals that shift your frequency fast. 1. The flow tithe. Money that doesn't move becomes static. Hoarded from fear, it loses its charge. So this ritual is simple. Give a little away with no strings attached. Buy someone's coffee. Tip someone who doesn't expect it. Leave a $10 bill where a stranger might find it. Gift something valuable with no explanation. But here's the secret. Do it deliberately. Say silently as you give. This gift proves I trust the flow. What I give returns multiplied. This isn't about charity. It's about circulation. You're flipping the energy from contraction to expansion. And when the current flows again, it brings more than just money, it brings momentum. 2. The gratitude ledger. Your brain is wired to notice what's missing. So you need to retrain it to see what's arriving. Create a small notebook or digital space. Call it your gratitude ledger. Every day, record at least 3 forms of abundance that showed up. Not just cash. A call that lifted your mood. An opportunity that felt aligned. A peaceful moment that changed your day. As you write, say this aloud or silently. This is proof that wealth is already here. And more is on its way. You're not just being positive. You're broadcasting new instructions to your subconscious. And over time, that subconscious becomes the magnet for everything you've been chasing. 3. The overflow stash. Most people only use money in fear. Spend it, then regret it. Save it, then fear losing it. This ritual introduces a new category, overflow. Here's how it works. Every time you receive money, any amount, take a small percentage, 5 to 10%, and place it in a sacred stash. Call it what you want. My overflow. My abundance signal. Proof I'm in prosperity mode. Don't spend it. Don't touch it. Let it sit there, glowing with evidence. You're telling the universe, I'm not surviving, I'm expanding. This isn't emergency money. It's declaration money. It's a physical anchor for a new identity, one where you don't operate from fear, but from overflow. These aren't just habits. They're codes, activators for your next level. Each one sends a ripple through your energetic field. And the universe? It listens. It responds. It recalibrates. Because now you're no longer just hoping for wealth. You're becoming it. And when you change, money has no choice but to follow. You don't manifest wealth by wishing. You manifest it by embodying it. And that embodiment begins not with money, but with identity. The reason most people stay broke, energetically and financially, is because they try to change their life without first changing their inner stance. They chase results, but never upgrade the version of self who receives them. Let's get one thing clear. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe is normal. That's the key. Not what's exciting, not what's visualized, but what your nervous system accepts as your baseline. So the real question isn't, how do I get rich? It's, what does wealth feel like when it's no longer impressive, just expected? Because when something becomes emotionally neutral, it becomes real to your subconscious. And your subconscious is the only gatekeeper that matters. The method of assumed identity. There's a reason some people seem to effortlessly manifest success. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's because they've collapsed the gap between desire and identity. They're not thinking, one day I'll make 6 figures. They're thinking, that's who I am now. That's what I do. That's just life. And this is where people misunderstand manifestation. They think it's about wanting more. But it's actually about becoming someone who feels lack when less shows up. Wanting more from a place of lack creates more lack. But expecting more because your identity already contains it? That shifts the field instantly. The power of emotional substitution. Every night before bed, your subconscious is wide open. And that's when you have a choice. Replay the day as it happened, or revise it. This is where Neville Goddard's brilliance shines. He taught, your imagination is the creative power of the universe. So instead of falling asleep to frustration, regret, or missed opportunities, you rewrite the script. You insert new scenes. You feel into new outcomes. Why? Because your brain doesn't distinguish between what happened and what you emotionally rehearse. Whatever you imprint often enough becomes your truth. And reality is just your truth made physical. How to collapse time. Let's go deeper. When you truly accept that the universe responds to frequency, not force, then you stop hustling for proof and start resonating as proof. You want to know how to speed up manifestation? Drop the timeline. Live from the E&D now. Not, I'll feel rich when I get there. But, because I feel rich now, I always get there. This is how you collapse time. You stop waiting to believe. You believe, and the waiting disappears. Mental rehearsal equals energetic blueprint. Think of it like this. Your current life is a match to your current mental rehearsals. If you constantly replay stress, bills, fears, doubts, you're literally rehearsing the script of struggle. And guess what? That script keeps running until you change it. So here's your challenge. Every day rehearse a different scene. Not just with thoughts, but with feeling. What does it feel like to walk through the world as someone who already has it? Feel the posture. Feel the calm. Feel the absence of anxiety. That absence is your signal. The Ernest Holmes principle. Ernest Holmes said it best. We are surrounded by a creative mind that responds to our thought. Not just our words, not just our prayers, but our emotional conviction. So if you want a new result, you must create a new mental equivalent. Here's how. Identify what you want. Close your eyes. Ask, what would I be thinking and doing if this were already done? Then begin living from there. Now, you don't wait for confirmation. You become the confirmation. This is ritual, not fantasy. And this is why ritual matters. Because you can't just think abundance, you must ritualize it. You need anchors that tell the field, this is my new norm. Light a candle and say the words out loud. Walk like it's already done. Pay a bill and bless the energy. Write your future self a letter and date it today. Treat your mind like sacred ground because it is. These aren't games. They're frequency signals. And the universe is always listening for who you've decided to be. Your 7-day upgrade. Here's your mission. For the next 7 days, walk, speak, and move like you're already living the life. Not to trick the universe, but to train your field. Because the field doesn't respond to your desires. It responds to your defaults. And your default becomes whatever you practice most often. So speak it. Claim it. Move like it's already yours. I am wealthy. I am safe. I am the one it works for. Say it so often your cells memorize it. Say it until the old self forgets how to return. Because this isn't just about income, it's about inheritance. You were born with this power. You just have to remember how to use it. So start today. Don't wait for evidence. Be the evidence. Your wealth isn't waiting for you to catch up. It's already circling you, just waiting for you to match. Now go become the signal.